Shalom and blessings, family. There's a question that I've been asked over the past several years, and that is, did Abraham marry his sister? Well, tonight I'm going to address that, but I'm going to preface it by saying that this is a lesson that requires maturity as well as the discernment to understand the differences between Western and Eastern cultures by not applying modern United States thought or standards to a worldview on the other side of the planet. The Bible is not American literature. It's just not. It's a cultural recipe for life that has been opened up for the world to partake in. Finally, everything that's described in the Bible doesn't mean it's prescribed for you in your life. There's descriptive text that explains the circumstances of that day, and there's prescriptive text that's applicable to your life for salvation. Now, with that, let's get into the lesson. We're going to start at Genesis 11, verses 27 through 29. Now, these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran begat Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity in Ur of the Chaldees. And Abram and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarah. The name of Nahor's wife, Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Iscah. Now, let's go to 1st century Judean Roman historian Flavius Josephus in Antiquities of the Jews, Book 1, Chapter 8. Now, after this, when a famine had invaded the land of Canaan, and Abram had discovered that the Egyptians were in flourishing condition, he was disposed to go down to them, both to partake of the plenty they enjoyed and to become an auditor of their priests, and to know what they said concerning the gods, designing either to follow them if they had better notions than he, or to convert them into a better way, if his own notions proved the truest. Now, seeing he was to take Sarah with him, and was afraid of the madness of the Egyptians with regard to women, lest the king should kill him on occasion of his wife's great beauty, he contrived this device. He pretended to be her brother, and directed her in a dissembling way to pretend the same, for he said it would be for their benefit. Now, let's go directly to the story in Genesis 12. We're going to be looking at verses 10 through 13. And there was a famine in the land, and Abram went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. And it came to pass, when he was come near to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarah his wife, Behold now, I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, This is his wife, and they will kill me. But they will save thee alive. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. Now, many English readers misinterpret the fairness of Sarah as a reference to her complexion, but actually in Hebrew the word fair is translated from the word Yafeh, which is Strong's 3303, Hebrews 3303, and Yafeh means beautiful. Now, back to Genesis 12. We're going to look at verses 14 through 20. And it came to pass that when Abram was come into Egypt, the Egyptians beheld the woman that she was very fair. The princes also of Pharaoh saw her and commended her before Pharaoh. And the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. And he entreated Abram well for her sake. And he had sheep and oxen and he-asses and men servants and maid servants and she-asses and camels. And the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarah, Abram's wife. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, What is this that thou hast done unto me? Why dost thou not tell me that she is thy wife? Why sayest thou, She is my sister? So I may have taken her to me to wife. Now therefore behold thy wife, take her, and go thy way. And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away, and his wife, and all that he had. So Abram told Pharaoh that Sarai was his sister. But this is not the last time that this happened. Let's look at Genesis 20, and we're going to read verses 1 through 14. And Abram journeyed from thence toward the south country, and dwelled between Kadesh and Shur, and sojourned in Gerar. Gerar was a Philistine town in the district of south central Israel. And Abraham said of Sarah, his wife, She is my sister. And Abimelech, king of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. But God came to Abimelech in a dream by night, and said to him, Behold, thou art but a dead man, for the woman which thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife. But Abimelech had not come near her. And he said, Lord, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation? Said he not unto me, She is my sister? And she, even she herself, said, He is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and innocency of my hands have I done this. And God said unto him in a dream, Yea, I know that thou didst this in the integrity of thy heart. For I also withheld thee from sinning against me, therefore suffered I thee not to touch her. Now, therefore restore this man, the man his wife, for he is a prophet, for he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live. And if thou restore her not, know that thou shalt surely die, thou and all that are thine. Therefore Abimelech rose early in the morning and called all his servants and told all these things in their ears, and the men were sore afraid. Then Abimelech called Abraham and said unto him, What hast thou done unto us? What have I offended thee, that thou hast brought on me and my kingdom a great sin? Thou hast done deeds unto me that ought not be done. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, What sawest thou that thou hast done this thing? And Abraham said, Because I thought surely the fear of God is not in this place, and they will slay me for my wife's sake. And yet, indeed, she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. And it came to pass, when God caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said unto her, This is thy kindness which thou shalt show unto me at every place whither we shall come. Say of me, He is my brother. And Abimelech took sheep and oxen and men servants and women servants, and gave them unto Abraham, and restored him Sarah, his wife. And this sparks the question, did Abraham marry his sister? Let's revisit Genesis, the 11th chapter. We're going to look at verses 27 through 31. Now, these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran begat Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity, in Ur of the Chaldees. And Abram and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarah, and the name of Nahor's wife was Milcah, the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah and the father of Iscah. But Sarah was barren, and she had no child. And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot the son of Haran, and his son's son, and Sarah his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan, and they came unto Haran and dwelt there. Genesis 11:29 notes Haran, the older brother of Abram, as the father of Milcah and the father of Iscah. The Blue Letter Strong's Lexicon H3252 says, Yiscah, to watch, observant. Jiscah, sister of Lot. Iscah. Iscah equals one who looks forth. Daughter of Haran, niece of Abraham, sister of Lot, and Milcah. That's from the blueletterbible.org. The name doctor says that Iscah means foresight, or being able to see the potential in the future. Yiscah is the name of the daughter Haran briefly mentioned in the book of Genesis in the Bible. Now, let's go to the Jewish Encyclopedia of 1906. It says Sarah, wife of Abraham, who for a long period remained childless. She accompanied her husband from Haran to Canaan, driven by famine to take refuge in Egypt. Abraham, fearing that her beauty would put his life in danger if their true relations became known, proposed that she pass as his sister. The Jewish Encyclopedia will go on to say, in rabbinical literature, Sarah was the niece of Abraham. Being the daughter of his brother Haran, she was called also Iscah, because her beauty attracted general attention and admiration. The Jewish Encyclopedia also says, according to another explanation, she was called Iscah because she had prophetic vision. She was superior to Abraham in the gift of prophecy. Remember, Iscah means one who looks forth. So, how would this apply to Sarah? Genesis 21:9-10 says, And Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, which she had borne unto Abraham, mocking. Wherefore she said unto Abraham, Cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even with Isaac. The Talmud had this explanation. Megillah 14:8. Sarah, as it is written, Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Iscah. And Rabbi Yitzchak said, Iscah is in fact Sarah. And why was she called Iscah? For she saw by means of divine inspiration, as it is stated, and all that Sarah has said to you, hearken to her voice. Alternatively, Sarah was also called Iscah, for all gazed upon her beauty. Genesis 21:12 says, And God said unto Abram, Let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad, and because of thy bondwoman. And all that Sarah hath said unto thee, hearken unto her voice, for in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Sarah had foresight that Isaac would be heir to the promise.